What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Iron Maiden, and we are back with some live Iron Maiden. That's right, folks. I mentioned about a week ago that I decided to get a copy of Live After Death. A couple people had just mentioned, you really got to hear the Live After Death version of this song and that song. So I said, you know what, let's do it. So here it is, just got it today. Really love the art on the front of this. Eddie coming out of the grave with like a laser either piercing out of his brain or into his brain. I think it's a lightning strike maybe. So yeah, it's like animating him, it's alive kind of thing. But I just love the artwork, so dope. Shout out to the artwork on the back, like a ghostly cemetery. There's a bunch of Eddie on the inside. Like first shout out to Steve Harris. Yeah, love that. I do think this is the Power Slave Eddie. And then there's this Eddie, I'm not sure what tour that's from. But then on this one, it's like Eddie's walking across the stage. So yeah, shout out to all the live show incarnations of Eddie. But we're going to listen to Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Go back and look at the reaction I did to the studio version. It's one of my very favorite songs. And perhaps the very best example of like narrative storytelling in a song that I've ever heard. Certainly one of them. Although again, you start thinking about Hallowed Be Thy Name and many other stories that Iron Maiden have told in songs, and it begins to become difficult to compare. But like I said, it's really one of my very favorite when it comes to telling a story through music, though I have to say, as I mentioned in the original video, it's a story about telling a story. It's the mariner, after the fact, trying to convey the lessons inherent in the experiences that he went through, most notably being callous and indifferent toward other living things, including an albatross, which then not only caused him great suffering, death, and harm, but ultimately led to others around him dying. So again, it's a very interesting story in terms of like the implications of the mariner's actions and the way that the crew, in some ways died because of actions that were not theirs, but as the song explains that, by saying, hey, the fog cleared, I guess, yeah, you did a good thing by killing that bird, whatever, they make themselves a part of the crime by justifying the actions of the mariner. So it's just a very interesting song lyrically and musically. It's just insane the way it just keeps changing, and then there's this long sort of ambient lost at sea section in the middle where we actually get words from the poem the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So yeah, it's an amazing song, but I won't repeat any more of what I said in the first video. I'll just say that I am aware that this version is from a show the mid-'80s in Long Beach, which, side note, it's about like 20 minutes north of where I live. It's very close to where I live. But I haven't heard it before, and I've seen that later live performance, maybe like '02 or something like that, where he's talking about, like I said, in Long Beach all those years ago. So I'm very excited to hear this. First time checking it out. Obviously I know the song, but I don't know this particular version. So here we go. Live After Death, Iron Maiden, Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
And the moral of this story is this is what not to do if the bird shits on you. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner!
Feels a little bit faster than the studio version, and I'll never complain about that. Bruce is already doing some like vocal flares and special editions. Definitely a little faster. I'm just sort of like along for the ride here. It's like I'm just really keen to hear any like little differences. That should concern you. It is amazing though how close to their studio sound they are. Like a lot of bands, and this isn't even really talking shit, but like, you know, a lot of bands you can hear the difference from studio to live show. This is very, very close. Your fault. You don't get out that easy, Mariner. Reap what you have sown. And think about it for a while. Yep, I'd be cheering right now too. Fuck, dude, listen to him. Seeing him later this year, I'm like so excited. I get it, it's not gonna be the same as seeing them in the 80s, but like, fuck it. I'm so excited. If they play this, I will lose my brain. Talk about nailing the atmosphere you're trying to create.
Each turned his face with a ghastly pain and cursed me with his eye. 4 times 15 living men, and I heard no sign or groan. With every thump, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one.
What's more terrifying, like all of the men dying instantly and falling down, or doing it one by one with this mounting sense of dread as each of them keep dying for those remaining. In the studio version, I love that they take the time for this atmospheric, artistic segment in a larger song that's actually quite rocking and having it. But to do this in a live show, I think it's even braver and it's even more of an artistic expression of like who they are musically. And shout out to the crowd for being into it too. Basically, I've come to realize like Maiden fans are some of the coolest fucking music fans out there. Like, super excited about the band and talk to other people about music and so on. So yeah, all you lucky, bro. Yeah, I said it in my other reaction. I feel like after what he just went through, he should know better than to be spitefully wishing for the death of all these secrets. Like, bro, that's what got you into this in the first place. Come on, man. Yeah. Maybe be a little kinder. I wondered how he was going to do that. That was dope. It's a little different than the album version, but I love it. Does that roll into this part different? Oh, shit. That little extra flourish where he was singing, I don't think that's in the original. That was dope. That part that just went by as a solo felt like almost bluesy guitar. That was dope. I love that. There's like a certain sort of like sound they find their way to in a lot of songs. I keep calling it sort of their Castlevania sound, but it just has this sort of like adventurous, like driving forward sort of feel, which to me I kind of associate with like old school games, but this is incredible. That guitar work was hypnotic in that part. And just the percussive, like, rhythmic flourishes, the tempo changes. I like how sometimes he'll like slow the line and like stretch the end of the line over the measure break. Like he's playing with the vocal rhythm. This part shocked me when I first heard the song. Like, don't do what I did, bro. everyone like wanted to make sure he was done flourishing before they really came in. I love it. Yeah, it's incredible. I can't wait to go through some of the other songs on here that I'm already a big fan of, just to hear, you know, if there are little differences, or at least, you know, like he emphasizes some of the vocals a little bit differently, like we heard there. That's amazing. I'm still sort of like, you know, basking in and, you know, thinking about the different elements of that. That was fantastic. But like I said, the one thing I would comment is like their precision and their similarity to their studio sound is remarkable. Because again, I've heard bands that I love and then I'll see them live and I love them live, but you can hear the difference. It just sounds, you know, maybe a little raw, maybe a little, you know, slightly out of pocket in one or two moments. But yeah, that was just really like as close to the studio sound, but with the live sort of acoustics and the crowd sounds and so on as you can get. Yeah, so big ups to that, big ups to the album overall. I can't wait to go through this. I know the recordings are from a couple different shows. It's like Long Beach, and I forget what the other one is. I'll look it up by the next time that I do a reaction on this video, or on this album, but yeah, I know there's a couple different shows here, but I'm just really excited. And shout out to the person who commented on the Rime of the Ancient Mariner studio version, that like, oh, you really have to hear the Live After Death version. I think their like profile name was something like Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Obviously a big fan of the band and the song, so shout out to them. But yeah, let me know if there's anyone on this in particular you'd like to hear me react to. Other than that, up the irons, and I can't wait to do more Maiden reactions. So yeah, I hope you're here for it. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Peace.